I'm Gary Mavers, and I've had a lifelong obsession with classic cars. I caught the bug when I was just a small child, but since then I've been lucky enough to own and restore many of these rare beauties. Over the years I've learned how to tackle the complex mechanics of these cars, but still managed to indulge my passion along the way. But now I want to share my experiences with you, revealing the joys, the trials, and the tribulations of classic car restoration. Each episode I'll meet fellow classic car enthusiasts to hear their stories, look at their cars, and share their personal experiences. So come with me on my journey as I search from here to Europe and as far as the USA for the cars of my dreams. Discover their unique histories whilst working on them, and bring them back to life. So join me, Gary Mavers, for Classic Obsession. So today I've decided to visit Iain Tyrrell. Situated at Hayward Private Airport at the helm of Cheshire Classic Cars since 2004, Iain has led a colourful and varied life encompassing many careers. After leaving school, he cut his teeth working at a Rolls-Royce service centre, and by the age of 21 had formed his own company, Tyrrell Engineering. As well as tuning and servicing high-performance classic cars, throughout the 1980s and 90s, Iain also had success as an actor and singing artist, entertaining audiences all over the world. But he's probably best known for Tyrrell's Classic Workshop, which has had phenomenal success on YouTube, receiving over 2 million views in its first year. So with his knowledge and expertise, I want to get his take on an upcoming project I'm planning for the Corniche. I was in the area, so I decided to pop in because I know that in your early days, didn't you do an apprenticeship at Rolls-Royce?
Well, I didn't do the full apprenticeship, but I spent some time as a trainee at a Rolls-Royce service facility, and I didn't do the full apprenticeship because
They sacked you.
Yeah. So I was moonlighting as a chauffeur at weekends in customers' cars. What can I say?
I believe it, yeah.
Not necessarily true. But yeah, started my own business with all the impetuosity of almost youth at the age of 21. But yeah, worked on exclusively on Rolls-Royce and Bentley almost at the start of my working life. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to pick your brains because we'll be working closely with Intracar.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we've been discussing is the Harvey Bailey, the ride kit. And I know over the years, many Rolls-Royce owners have been asking the question, does it actually improve the ride? Is it just a myth? I wanted to dispel the myth and, answer some questions that have been asked for many years. Does it really improve the car that much? I mean, the reservation I have about it is I actually love the soft magic carpet ride of my Corniche. Will it lose that when it's fitted, do you think? I know it's better handling around corners, they reckon, but what do you think?
Well, as with everything, there's layers of sort of more to it than that, if you like, really. Basically, the handling kit comprises of front and rear springs and anti-roll bars. That's it. But the problem is, I'm going to get nerdy and technical now for a moment. The shadows that were made between 1969, launch in 65, and 1969 used Armstrong shock absorbers, which were brilliant.
Yeah.
From 69 onwards... No, Girling, actually.
Really?
Yeah. They used Girling as standard equipment, and the Girling shock absorbers were hopeless. 3,000 miles, they were shot. Good for nothing.
Yeah.
And you can fit whatever springs and anti-roll bars you like on, but if the shock absorbers don't work properly, you're never going to get proper control of the body, basically. I mean, I started off as an agent for Roddy Harvey Bailey in 1985. I met him at a Rolls-Royce Enthusiast Club do, and he had a demonstrator Silver Shadow there. And I thought, oh, okay. I was very curious, obviously. And I drove it, and within 50 yards, I said to him, I can tell the difference in this car instantly. And I'm not talking about the ride, because the ride hardness actually doesn't alter. So that's myth number one gone. The only time you notice it is driving over speed bumps, when the whole car moves slightly instead of just absorbing the bump. That's it.
Is that a good thing, do you think? That doesn't sound like a good thing to me.
Not really, no. It's to do with wheel velocity. And the only time you notice the stiffer springs is when you go over a speed bump. All other times you don't, and even then it's not drastic.
So it's more of a bang instead of absorbing it.
It's not a bang, it's just the car sort of rides the bump instead of gliding over it, if you like. But all other times it's all good. I mean, he was a racing driver of some note, but he's a very accomplished suspension engineer. And he used Swiss steel for the road springs, a particular grade of Swiss steel. He went into it very thoroughly. But the secret was, if you fitted a kit without, and then put the original Girling shocks back on, never worked properly. So he actually eventually collaborated with Bilstein, and they built new shock absorbers to fit on with the kit. And if you fit the kit with decent shock absorbers that do their job, the results are 100%.
I'm of the belief that people are driving around in Rolls Royces with chewed up ball joints and suspension, they still ride perfectly. But in their mind they do, you know, because it's been a slow creep.
Well, I think the interesting thing to differentiate between here is ride and handling. I mean, they will all glide along the road beautifully, and that's what they're made to do. But when you come to a corner, you know, people used to talk about roly-poly Rolls Royces, you know, and it goes back to, that's when the handling kit and the shock absorbers really start to work. Because I'll say, you know, the handling kit doesn't make the ride any more harsh. That's the cleverness of it. But and again, if you use standard shock absorbers, not ones off a Bentley Turbo or something like that, which are interchangeable, if you use standard shock absorbers or some of his re-engineered Bilstein ones, it doesn't affect the ride, but it does affect the body control and the roll massively. Interestingly, on a Corniche convertible, we don't fit the full kit.
Why?
Because of body flex.
Well, they have the strengtheners underneath, don't they? Well, some do anyway. Mine
they
does.
do, yes, but even so, it still hasn't got the strength of the closed car. And Roddy and I both experienced things with the Corniche convertible in particular, around just slight body movement.
So do you think, I mean, when you say fit part of it, you just fit the front or the rear? What?
We fit the front and rear springs, but we don't fit the rear anti-roll bar, the enlarged rear anti-roll bar.
That's interesting.
Yeah, this is after years of field experience, if you like. But the kits are fantastic. They really are.
I'm expecting good things anyway. I'm really looking forward to seeing the difference because, as I say, Ian, mine drives beautifully and handles beautifully around roundabouts. So, listen, I might find out that when I get it up in the air, it's already got the kit fitted, but I doubt it. It's got the standard stuff on, man.
You've probably got decent shocks on it then.
Well, I've decided to go for a new set of shocks as well.
Yes, good thinking. Yes.
Because I thought if there is a couple of odd, you know, or one of the shocks is out, then it's going to compromise, you know, what I'm, you know.
Totally.
You know, I'm quite excited to see what kind of a difference it makes.
Yes.
And I'm reassured by you saying it doesn't affect that magic carpet ride. From what I've heard from other people, it's transformed the car.
It does make a big difference.
We've got a few cars in here. You're going to show me around?
Oh, well, all right. Be rude not to.
Come on then. So what's this in a 230 SL?
Well, this is, it is a 230 SL. It's got a 5-speed manual gearbox, which was incredibly rare on them. I'm not sure whether it's factory fit or not, because I haven't got the data card for it yet. But, I mean, a lot of them had 4-speed manuals, but the vast majority were automatics. But the 5-speed is incredibly rare. Yeah, and this was Lulu's.
5-speed.
I don't know what it is actually.
Yeah, it'd be a ZF, and I think the rarest one of these pagodas was the 250 2+2 without the soft top.
Yeah, the California.
With a ZF, with a ZF 5-speed. That's the rarest one of the lot, but probably the least desirable one.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you been doing tuning on this?
It didn't need a lot because it's actually very sweet. I have just leaned the idle mixture off because it was too rich.
Yeah,
just pushing the screw in on the back of the pump and backing it off.
Yeah,
but other than that, it's
they've got
lovely.
a few things that cause problems on these, you know. You know, this air filter at the back of the injection pump, you know, they can become clogged. I used to take mine off and blow through, and if there's any resistance, you could blast them out. But I just used to replace them with a new one.
Yeah.
And this, I used to boil this like an egg in a pan, because sometimes the waxers stop working, and the plunger, which pushes in, doesn't it, as the engine heats up and weakens it, sometimes they stick. And I remember, I think these were 333 millimeters used to work to on these. I mean, that's just a guide.
Yeah.
But I think when that was on its stop point, you had to get the thing just slightly open at the front, the butterfly.
Yes.
Just starting to open.
Yes. It shouldn't be fully closed.
Yeah. But you find that, what plugs did it have in this? I know originally it was the Bosch.
Well, it's running NGK BP60S.
Yeah, they're the best. They run hotter because they tend to shut up, I think, on the Bosch.
Exactly. They like running rich. That's the problem. They do like running rich. Yeah,
and frequent oil changes, because they literally smell of fuel, don't they, the oil?
Yes.
After like a couple of 100 miles.
But
is this Lulu's one?
It was Lulu's, yeah. Maurice Gibb bought it for her, I think, for her 21st birthday when they were married.
Wow.
There's a photo on the internet, but they want too much money to share it. I know you've got deep pockets, Gary, so the photograph might appear.
My pockets are empty. I think I've got holes in them.
And she had this car for a couple of years, I think, something like that.
Happy memories, or unhappy, whichever way you look at it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what else have you got? It's very full today.
It is. I'll just close that. There we go.
These were nice, weren't they? The Persuaders.
Yeah, they're all filthy actually, because we just had a dust storm outside. But this is an Aston Martin DBS V8. It's the olive green colour.
Yeah.
Which is the same colour as George Lazenby drove in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Yeah, lovely colour, beautiful colour.
So is this the Persuaders one as well? Is that a DS?
Well, it is and it isn't, because Aston Martin had got wise to the power of marketing with the DB5 Goldfinger. And what before the V8 came out, because the V8 engine was delayed in this shape, or rather carried over. Yeah, the V8 engine was delayed because it didn't work properly.
So they gave them the bog standard one?
The DBS 6, as it was called, with the 6-cylinder engine. But for the Persuaders and for On Her Majesty's Secret Service, they put the big deep front air dam on the front off the V8 and dubbed a V8 engine on it. So it sounded like the Aston Martin DBS V8.
I think it sounds dubbed as well, do you? When you watch the film?
Yeah. But this is a gorgeous engine.
Power plant. Look at that.
Beautiful.
And it's got a similar injection pump to the SL, hasn't it?
It's almost identical, except that's 8-cylinder, and you'll recognise that because it's off the Mercedes 600.
Yeah,
it's adapted from the M100 engine one.
Yeah, they're hard to get hold of, them pumps. I found one up in my loft. It's gone. eBay.
Well, the answer to everything.
Clear your lines.
Yeah, but now this was in quite a mess. This engine when it came in. So,
I love all this.
Yeah. Alex did this. He did a really nice job of it.
It's all in the
detail. He did a crackling job, actually. Oh, sorry. Yes. And we've got this here. I don't know if you like your Jags, don't you?
I love these, yeah.
This is I did a video on this some time ago. This is a Vanden Plas, as it's called. I didn't know this.
Haven't they got enough wood inside?
This is a 66, 1978, so it's pre-HE, but it's done 21,000 miles from new, and it's all original. Chrome, paintwork, leather, carpets, dash, all the woodwork. New headlining in it, that's it. Because it suffered from sagging, as they all do.
Well, all the Jags do, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I just did the XJS one, and it did John Aldridge's XK8 as well.
Oh, really?
Because that was exactly the same. Yeah. It's cheap enough and it's easy enough to do, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Yeah. But I love this car.
That interior is beautiful. What The seats are like an olive green as well.
Yes.
Find a similar boot polish and work it in. Just don't wear the chinos with it.
Yes.
And that's all completely original, never been painted.
No.
That's Sally, isn't it?
Yeah. Original cellulose.
Yeah.
And because it's not lacquered, all the aluminium particles actually are on the surface.
Isn't that lacquered? No.
No, cellulose, metallic cellulose wasn't lacquered. So so it dulls off as the aluminium oxidizes, and you have to repolish it. I mean, this was chauffeur driven for the first 18 months of its life.
Look at that jewellery there.
He'll have polished it regularly. It's a good job he didn't go through anywhere, because that's what happens, you know. But it's lovely, all original. Chrome is untouched from 1978.
It's very difficult to paint in cellulose when you're used to painting 2-pack. It's kind of idiot-proof 2-pack, isn't it?
I have never held a spray gun in my life. So
there's always time.
Oh, yes.
Oh, look at this. 250 GT, is it?
Yeah, yeah. 250 GT Pininfarina Coupe. Yeah.
That's a lovely paint job, Ian.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Well, this is
black
coming
as well.
For an engine rebuild. Yeah, very difficult to get a finish like that on black, as you know.
It is.
Yeah.
And so it's in for an engine rebuild, yeah?
Yes.
And what's the mileage on it?
Oof, I don't know actually. I mean, who's to say whatever? Because it's only
these dry sump.
No, wet sump. And it's got what's called hairspring valve springs on it, which are actually on the shelf over there, but they work like that. They work like that instead of normal coil valve springs. So we're going to rebore these. 73mm standard bore, going up to 73.5. So getting some pistons made in Italy at the moment. But it's a beautiful engine.
What did these have, like Marl pistons originally?
Borgo.
Borgo.
Yeah, which then got bought out by AP and then became Hepalite. They're still going under the umbrella of that, really.
All right, you're getting too technical for me now.
Talking about umbrellas.
This Miura is a beautiful yellow, isn't it?
Well, that's the one that came from the Black Forest. It was sold as auction.
Oh yeah, I've seen you doing this one. Yeah. Wow.
And yeah, it's almost finished now.
Look at that.
Yeah, all original parts.
At the master cylinder there.
It is the master cylinder.
What a strange place to have a master cylinder.
Right in the line of fire of all the dirt.
And there's no cover that goes over that, no?
No.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. And this is all the original interior that Craig's we've reused. That's how we got the job, actually, because the buyer, the owner, said, you know, what would you do with it? And I said, I'd leave the interior all original. And he said, great, you got the job. Because a lot of people would just do it for the money.
Sometimes it's more costly to replenish the original interior.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's true. But fortunately, that was in very good condition.
Wow.
This is the 6th ever production Lamborghini.
That's a rare thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Hand-beaten aluminium bodywork.
Kind of flexed when you did that as well.
Yeah. Wafer thin, really.
Wafer.
So yeah, it's turned out very well, that.
It's one of those cars that's like, it's ugly, but it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're never going to see a design like that ever again, are you? Yeah. I mean, we were talking about this the other day. If you get a car from the 90s and then look at it now, it's exactly the same as what's being made now. But probably 5-10 years after this was built, cars look completely different. It looked like a dinosaur, like prehistoric, didn't it?
Absolutely.
But what a thing of beauty that is.
It's just all curves. The top half is a teardrop. That was the idea, or half a teardrop.
Half a teardrop, yeah.
And I thought this might interest you.
Oh yeah, the 6.9.
Very rare car. I've actually worked on a lot of these over the years. They made 700 right-hand drive only.
And what do you think of the velour interior?
I love it.
Super soft, isn't it?
It's great. And you don't slide around on it like the leather.
Well, it depends whether you use pledge on the leather or not. No, but this the velour's really soft. It was an expensive extra, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At the time.
But they used to wear on the bolster there, just on the edge.
People got in and out here.
Exactly, it would stick out. Same as the 129 SLs actually with the leather. They almost come to a point. But this one, as you can see, is beautifully preserved and original. I love these.
Lovely
really
colour as well.
Yeah, Milan brown. You ever watched Ronin? The movie Ronin.
Oh yeah.
There's a Milan brown 6.9 in a car chase in that. Same car, same colour.
Steve McQueen colour, isn't it? The metallic brown.
Yeah. James Hunt had 2 of them famously as everyday cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love them. Really do. Dry sumped 6.9 litre V8.
Yeah, you don't get many to the gallon with this one.
No.
Look at that beautiful door shut. It's unusual, Ian.
Yeah. This is a Bentley S2 that's been in the family for a long time, but it was converted to an S3, twin headlight front end, at some stage in its life, and it's come in to be fully recommissioned and brought back. Yeah.
There's not much paint on it, is there?
No. No.
Keep that for the colour match.
Well, this is what I was saying about cellulose. This is what you used to see when chauffeurs
on the edges.
polishes through the edges. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to make a nice car, this.
It is nice. All the door shuts are really nice, and there's no sagging, is there?
No.
So what have we got here?
This is a Mercedes 560 SEC,
These
which
are lovely, these.
almost finished. Again.
What's this had done to it?
We've been working. The engine wasn't developing the power it should have done. So we've just been working on the fuel injection on that. It's filthy dusty at the moment, just because of the stuff that's been blowing in. Miura.
What's this, another Ferrari?
It is another Ferrari 250 GT. That's the one that belonged to Ferruccio Lamborghini.
You know what? I thought it was a Gordon Keeble from the back for a minute there.
Well, it's funny because
very similar, isn't it? Because they shared the backlights, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah. Depending on which series it was, they were very similar. Yeah. But the funny thing is, I always think with Pininfarina cars of this era, they all look very similar. I mean, people are going to be up in arms at me saying this, but I think you can see shades of Austin Cambridge or Morris Oxford in the shape, particularly around the windows and the back wings.
But I don't think Ferrari were ashamed to be influenced by, other cars of the time or around them, were they?
Well, they led the way, really, Pininfarina.
Yeah.
They haven't designed too many ugly cars in their time.
No. I love the vibrant colours on these Miuras.
Yeah.
What's your favourite car in here at the moment?
This is
the tractor.
Yes, this is like a dream. Yeah, this is a Lamborghini Tractor 4R.
Well, that's how they started out, wasn't it?
That's so you get grip on the rear tyres. These are solid cast iron, half an inch thick, so that you get purchase. This is a 4-cylinder, 2-stroke, 3-litre diesel. Quite an engine.
Do you know, I've just been talking about a 220 SE Cabriolet that I restored about 10 years ago. And one of the main differences, there wasn't that much difference from the coupe, because when they decided to make the convertible, they didn't have to do that much shoring up with the body because it was already pretty solid. The thing I did notice was on the bottom of the floor pan on the convertible, they had a piece of steel this thick, like a pan, under the floor pan, like a separate piece, and it was literally that thick. So it was obviously one of the strengtheners, you know.
Yeah. Mercedes at that time over-engineering in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the 600s.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what's this interior for?
I'm not entirely sure. Oh, this is for the Miura boot, isn't it, Craig?
Proper vinyl.
I think the vinyl's better than the leather, isn't it? It wears better anyway.
Well,
See, to last longer.
doesn't it? In the Miura.
It does.
It doesn't suffer from some damage like the
yeah.
like the leather does.
Yeah.
And it doesn't shrink.
The yellow one is in good nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no leather in that.
And tell me, is it more work or more expensive to replenish, or just keep what's already there, make nice, or start afresh?
Well, we like to, if it's in good nick, you know, we like to.
No, but I'm just interested in terms of cost, because we were talking about this before, weren't we? Is it actually more expensive to replenish what's already there, or, you know, is it more expensive to put a whole new interior in?
Well,
it's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, because, you know, if it's just a little bit worn, you'd like to think,
of course,
but if it's got a hole in it,
yeah,
then you're almost scrapping
the
whole. You know, if it's a seat, what can you do? You just replace that panel.
A full retrim
exactly.
will always be more expensive.
Yeah. This is the best glue. Yeah. That's all I ever use.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have it in 150-degree heat, and it'll never peel off. It's fantastic gear.
Yeah.
The old trim fix.
Right.
We've
got an E-type over here.
Oh yeah.
Which
on the rotisserie.
Yes, it's we're on a tight deadline with this. It's got to be ready tomorrow.
Well, you should be all right as long as you work till 7.
How many 7s are there in 24 hours?
Look at this! Look at this! I hate this. How many wheels do you go through trying to get that off?
Yeah. Actually, this is pretty good. In fairness, it's pretty solid.
Yeah. A bit of welding there.
It's very, very good. If you come around this side,
this
I'll
way.
show you. Yeah. It was quite a clever. Obviously, it's a monocoque single shell, but you got these strengtheners at the front and the back, and these are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they look. That one looks brand new anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot worse than this, really. But it's quite funny because the early E-types, everybody says, "Oh, the flat floor E-type." You know, they're incredibly sought after, and the reason why they were flat floor
because that was underneath.
Well, this is the replacement for the flat floor.
Oh right.
They had the floor went like that all the way along, but the problem is you couldn't get your feet into the pedals, so they actually Jaguar cut a hole in the floor and put this recess panel in, like a little mini bathtub, so you could get your feet lower. To buy more room. So this is the more comfortable solution.
They do that in the modern cars now, don't they? In the back for passengers when they're short, like the Audi A2.
Yeah, but this one, everybody wants a flat floor E-type, all the real collectors. Yeah, but they're actually less comfortable to drive than this.
But this is almost completely rough-free.
Remarkably good, really. We'll put outer sills on it, and but it's very, very good. Very happy with it.
And is it going back red or original white?
No, it'll be white. It'll be white.
I would think. I like that.
I haven't had the conversation yet, but I mean, it's old English white, I think, actually, from memory.
You don't see many in white, do you? No. They're either black or red.
Exactly. Or a metallic colour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love these. I love the glass at the back.
Yeah, we seem to do well on Espadas. I think we've got 6 or 7 here at the moment.
Yeah. We were talking about the XJS last week. And when they were originally designed, the XJSs, they were thinking of putting the engine in the back, weren't they? And having like a glass cover.
I don't know.
I don't know how much truth is in that, but I believe that's what it was going to be, a 2-seater with the engine in the back.
Like the XJ13, for example.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never heard that, but stranger things have happened for sure.
Yeah. Iain, thank you so much for showing me your lovely garage.
It's all right. Pleasure.
You know, I'm a sponge for information, and it's always a pleasure to visit Iain, but I find it increasingly more and more difficult to contain myself every time I come. I mean, where else would you find 4 Lamborghini Miuras and 2 Ferrari 250 GTs, one owned by none other than Ferruccio Lamborghini, and all in the same building? Thank you for watching this episode of Gary Mavers Classic Obsession. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and join me next time as I fit and assess the new ride kit for my Rolls-Royce Corniche and put it through its paces.